Hi folks, we've been talking about the two different test agencies that provide risk information on the gloves that we use. We have the home team, we have ANSI that provides the information and the test protocols that OSHA relies on when they write their regulations up. And then you have EN 388, which is coming to us from the European Union. And if you haven't had a chance to watch our previous episode where we kind of go into why you see that label on a lot of gloves, I recommend you watch it because that gives you kind of the ground, lays the groundwork for why it's even on your glove. Now, the current situation with the availability of ANSI testing is, I would say, finally at a point where it's quite readily available. Any glove that you have that has properties that excel in certain areas, such as cut resistance or impact resistance, you will reliably find an ANSI rating available to you because the manufacturers have realized that there's a demand for it and they'll pay to have it done. They're not going to pay to have it done for a glove that doesn't excel in those properties. EN 388, on the other hand, as we said in the previous episode, they're mandated to put that on every glove that's sold in the European Union, and so we get to see a lot of them. Right now, the two areas that ANSI is a little bit hard to find on a lot of gloves is their abrasion and the puncture properties of those gloves. Now, coincidentally, you can get that information if you know how to read an EN 388 label. The EN 388 abrasion score isn't going to be exactly the same as an ANSI abrasion score. So if you have one glove that has both those numbers available to you, go with the ANSI one. But nevertheless, this is useful information. And let me explain how you can interpret the EN 388 label on your glove. We see here typical EN 388 rating. It says 388 on the top. It's got that familiar graphic, and then it's got a sequence of numbers underneath it. Now that's what we're focused on, that 4-digit sequence of numbers. Sometimes it's as many as 6 digits, but the first 4 numbers are always going to tell you the value of the same 4 risk properties, always in the same order. The first digit in the code is always going to tell you what the abrasion resistance properties are of that glove. And it'll be going to tell you that on a scale of 1 to 4. So if you have a 4 in the first position on this code, you know that glove has got really good abrasion properties. Similarly, the position number 4 is where you find the puncture resistance capabilities of that glove, according to EN 388. And that's also a scale of 1 to 4. A 4 means this glove resists punctures pretty good. A 2, better than a 1, but not as good as a 4. All right, now I'm going to dive a little deeper into how to interpret the whole thing for those of you who are interested, but I want to impress upon you the importance of the abrasion and the puncture as being really the only two that have any relevance to the domestic user. Okay, so here again we have the EN 388 label with the 4 digits, and the easiest way to remember that is to remember the phrase "act professionally," and you just correlate the letters of that phrase, the first 4 letters of that phrase, to the 4 letters in this code. A, abrasion, we've already said that. C, cut. T, tear. P, puncture. Now, you see cut, oh, well, I can get a cut rating there. No, we don't recommend that at all because this method, the test method that is used for that cut level there, and by the way, it's a scale of 1 to 5 here, it's so inferior to the TDM test that the ANSI test uses that it hasn't kept up at all with the higher and higher capabilities of gloves. So you get a lot of gloves that'll be a cut level 5 in the EN388 here, and they'll just be an A3 on the ANSI scale. So it's not worth paying much attention to that number. Tear, you tell me, have you ever been concerned about the tear of a glove? We don't know of any customer that's ever come to us and said, hey, I need a glove with high tear resistance. So that number, take it for what it's worth. Which brings us back to puncture in the 4th position, scale of 1 through 4. Now, those are the original 4 characters that you're going to see on every single EN388 label. Since 2016, they've added a few optional characters that would appear after the original 4. Namely, number 5 would be a more sophisticated cut test, which would be very similar to the ANSI cut test. And the scale on that is A through F, F being the most cut resistant. And the 6th position would be an impact test, which I've actually only read about. I've never actually seen it. If you see a P after the 5th character, that means the glove has some impact resistance. So that's the EN388 label in its entirety. I hope you find this helpful, and have a good day.